Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Funguy's Kitchen. I'm Funguy The Entertainer, and today we are going to do another quick meal for those of you who are short on time. Piggly Wiggly has that wonderful separate, their whole meat section is good, but they have a whole section which is really close to the door going in the meat department where they create a bunch of stuff to make things simple for you. Today we're going to do half chickens. Half chickens are fantastic because you cook them in the oven, you cook them on a grill. Today we're going to cook them on an oven, but they're already seasoned. These are brown sugar bourbon seasoned, so you don't have to do anything except literally cook them. Now, if you're in a really big hurry, you can just put the whole thing right in the oven on a pan. However, in order to get the brown skin that most people like, you're going to end up drying out the chicken, especially the wing part. It'll get in the breast, because in order to brown the skin, you have to cook it longer than you really need to make the chicken taste good. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a pan. We are considering trying cast iron. Cast iron is actually a better pan for browning in. I used to use cast iron when I was in the Boy Scouts. I used to cook cakes on a campfire using a cast iron Dutch oven. I remember doing that kind of stuff. I just remember that, you know, if you don't use them all the time, they get rusty and then it's a pain in the you-know-what. So I haven't used cast iron in probably 30 years. It might even be longer. But I see a lot of big-name chefs are exhorting the value of cast iron, so I'm considering doing that. Again, we don't have a cookware or sponsor, so I'm looking at lots of different options to see what we do. So in order to do this, all you really need to do is have your frying pan, turn your heat on medium to medium high, because you're going to want this hot, because all you're going to do is you're going to cook the skin side in the pan. Use whatever oil you like. Olive oil is a better blend. I use my virgin olive oil, which it's only 20% olive oil, the rest is sunflower oil, but it's a really light flavor and it's a good flavor. Make sure you have a good coating on the bottom. It does not need to be deep. You're not deep frying this chicken. All you need is a good coating on the bottom so you don't have any bare spots. While that's getting hot, we'll take the plastic off of the chicken. Be really careful because, as I'm sure you know, poultry products, when they're cut, do a lot of bleeding of juice. So you could probably see this, and this is the advantage to using a half-cut chicken versus a whole chicken, is since they've been sitting here, the juices have drained out. So you're not going to have, some people have a problem with let's face it, it's blood. And some people have a problem with that. The giblets are missing and the blood has drained. So when you go to cook this, it's going to cook really easy. You just have to be careful when you're picking the chicken up, because obviously it's going to drip a little bit. So what we're going to do is get this plastic wrap off carefully. Throw that in the sink. I'll get this one ready too. The oil is almost at temperature. You know, once you turn the pan on, it takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes for the oil to reach cooking temperature. It's at medium high. And again, be really careful. This one doesn't have as much juice, so it's not quite so bad. So what we're going to do is pick up the chicken, hold it over the pan in case any more is going to drip. You can see a little bit is dripping, not much, because it's already, you know, it's been sitting, so it's working out really good. So you're going to put this in the pan, rinse off your fingers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid on here so in case they do get a little bit of splatter. You're going to cook each chicken for about 6 to 7 minutes. You don't necessarily need a timer, but just to make this more interesting, we will. Seeing that I have timers all over the place here, let's do 6 minutes because we've already started it. All right. While that's doing that, you're going to need a pan to put your chicken on. Because I'm serving 3 people today, I have 3 halves, so I'm using a bigger pan. You're going to want to spray it with your pan spray. You can use butter flavored, you can use olive oil. Don't use the baking spray for this, because even though you're baking it in the oven, you're really not. Baking sprays for cakes and breads and stuff like that. You're going to want the oil or buttery spray for nonstick. Okay, you can hear that sizzling really good. Because of the fact that we are using a pan that you're supposed to use nonstick utensils in, I do not have a good tongs that I can use in this kind of a pan. So I'm going to use is my meat fork. Now again, you're going to say, but it's metal, you shouldn't use that. Obviously, I'm just going to use this to turn it and to pull it out of the pan. You're not going to stick it all the way through, so I should have no problem doing this without, you know, scratching the bottom. Okay, we've got 4.5 more minutes to go on this. What I'm going to do is rock it a little bit when we get down to 3 minutes. Granted, this is the only part that's really important, and that is the part that's in the pan. So actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to let it cook. Well, we'll see. This is something I've never cooked before this way. I usually just throw them on the grill, but today is one of those days where the weather is finally, the heat and humidity went away for a couple days, so I want to cook indoors today. Oh yeah, see, it's splattering really good. That's a good reason to have the lid on here. And because it's splattering, I'm probably not going to have to do anything to this except shake it every once in a while. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. And actually, I'm going to change this to medium instead of medium high. There we go. All you're doing is basically cooking the seasoning and browning the skin at the same time. That way it's, you know, it's where you want it to be. Once this is done, we're going to put it on the pan. We're going to do this all three. And of course, since I'm doing three, it's going to take me, you know, 6 minutes on each chicken, so that's 18 minutes of doing this. My pan's big enough I could actually probably put 2 in there, so on my second half I'm going to put 2, which means at this point you might want to preheat your oven. I'm thinking I usually use 400 degrees for chicken, so that's what we're going to do. If that is wrong, I will come back later and correct that. But let's make sure I don't have anything in here. Oh, I have plenty of stuff in here. I had kind of a busy day today, so I forgot to empty my oven. All right, let's start the oven. 400 degrees. There we go. We have 2.5 more minutes on the chicken. It looks like I'm a little light on oil. I've got a bare spot in the pan I can see. So I'm adding a little bit more. Granted, that'll cool down a little bit, but not a lot, because since it was bare, I'm pouring the oil right on the hottest part of the pan. Again, one of the problems with home grade pans is they start to warp in the middle. The middle comes up and all the oil goes to the side and you've got a hot spot in the middle. It's just the way it is. It's one of the few advantages to electric coils. When you hit with electricity, the whole bottom of the pan is getting the same amount of heat, whereas when you're heating with gas, which is great for chefs because you can control the heat faster, the problem is it does give you the hot spot. Your cookware, the more professional and the better grade cookware you have, the better it radiates the heat so you don't have hot spots. But most home grade cookware, even though they say it's got, you know, the core or whatever, it's not like commercial grade, and within 6 months of using a pan, you're going to notice that pretty fast. I have a bacon pan, which is this long. I love it because I can put most of a pound of bacon on it in one shot. The problem is the whole middle has come up, all the grease goes to the side, so the middle of the bacon cooks well done and the sides are still, you know, not cooked. So it's just one of those things. I'm going to have to replace that pan. I did notice that there is a cast iron version of that pan, so I might do that. All right, we're down to 45 seconds on the first chicken. Let's see what we got. It's looking good. It sounds good. Let me move this off to the side. There we go. Obviously, most people are going to use 13.5 by 9-inch pan for 2 chickens. That'll be perfect. Since I've got the 3, I've got the larger pan. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There's the meat. All right. Let's stab our chicken. See, nice and brown. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to do the same with the other chicken. And it does look like I can fit 2 in here at once, so this is going to save a little bit of time. Check that out. Pretty good, huh? All right, we'll reset the timer for 6 minutes. And we'll come on back after that. It'll give me a chance to throw away the cookie stuff, clean up a little bit, and then we'll be right back. All right. Okay. It's a good thing I double checked my recipe. It is 350, not 400. Like I said, I'd let you know if I was incorrect. So preheat your oven to 350. We're down to just a little over 2 minutes on the second batch of chicken here. I did a little bit of shaking here earlier to make sure that it comes up, because I noticed that a little bit was not getting browned. I'm sure it's not really any big deal, but this is looking really good. I can't wait to do this. So you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. When both halves of your chicken are done, in my case all 3 halves of the chicken are done, you're going to put it in the oven uncovered for 40 to 50 minutes. So I would suggest setting your timer for 40 minutes and then checking it. You're going to want an internal temperature of 165 degrees. It is poultry. You don't want to get it too well done, because you will dry out the wing and you will dry out the breast. It's not good if it's dry, unless of course you like it dry. Then you're eating a completely different meal. What we are trying to do is we're trying to make a nice juicy chicken dinner. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do pasta or rice. We'll figure that out a little bit later, seeing that neither one of those takes longer than 10 minutes to make. I'm not going to do potatoes today. We've been eating a lot of potatoes lately. So that's pretty much it. We're down in a minute here. Should give another shake. Sounds pretty good. The oven is almost preheated, so this should work out pretty good on timing. I noticed that when I took the lid off, there it is, it's preheated. When I took the lid off the pan, it did splatter a little bit, and I made a little bit of a mess. So what I'm going to do, when I get down to about 15 seconds on the timer, I'm going to turn the heat off, and that should cut back on your splatter. One of the advantages to a commercial kitchen is everything's stainless steel. You splatter on it, it wipes right off. Granted, it still pretty much wipes off of your kitchen stuff, but commercial kitchens are made for mess. Home kitchens, the mess, the mess, if you don't clean it right away, it starts to stick, because you're dealing with materials that are not commercial grade. There, oh, see, I was talking and I'm not paying attention to my timer. So I just turned the heat off, and actually I'll move it off the heat. I'm going to wait until I stop hearing the big sizzle. Should only take a moment. By the way, so we'll talk about it now while we're at it. We just had our first guest appearance in Dinner for Two People from one of the auction donation items that I had for fundraisers for a nonprofit organization. They came and enjoyed themselves. I'm anticipating to see their comments shortly. I have let them know that, well, actually, Smiles has let them know that their video is already posted. So if you look at the previous show to this, hopefully by the time this one gets posted, they'll have commented on how they enjoyed it. So if you'd like to win Dinner for Two and guest appearance on the show, you have to be willing to come to Delavan, Wisconsin. It does not matter where you are in the world, as long as you're willing to travel. you know, you can come here. Obviously, if you're local, this makes this a lot easier. But subscribe to the show, and on any of the shows, comment, I want to win dinner. At basically middle of September, end of September, we're going to do a drawing. Right now, we're at about 34 people, so the odds are really, really good. I kind of like to see 100 people registered, but still, 1 in 100 is much better than the lottery. So then you can get a chance to win. All right, the sizzle has gone down, so we can pick this up. And we'll just poke our chicken, pull it out of the pan. Yeah, see that? That looks really good, doesn't it? That's beautiful. Okay, the oven is already up to temp. The pan is cool, so I don't have to worry about the glove. And we'll put this in the middle of the oven. We will set the timer for 40 minutes. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. That's the nice thing about Piggly Wiggly's Meat Department specialty meats. Most of the hard work is already done. The prep work is done. All you have to do is cook the food. You cannot beat this if you're in a hectic household and you don't have time to actually, learn from scratch on a recipe. So check out Piggly Wiggly's Meat Department and have some fun. So we'll be back in 40 minutes my time, literally moments for you. All right, see, we're back. We've got right about 2 minutes left on the timer. I'm doing a whole meal as usual. Obviously, the show is going to be about the half chicken. But what I decided to do is to go with the with the rice, because I found that I had chicken flavored rice. Chicken flavored rice with chicken. You can't really go wrong there. So if you're going with that quick dinner theme, the chicken's in there. This takes like 8 minutes to cook. It's incredibly fast. Just follow the directions. I'm doing 2 packages because I've got more chicken. And I decided to do cheesy garlic bread. And I'm just going to use a canned vegetable today. Very simple. This is going to be really, really fast. But I wanted to have everything ready for when the timer goes off, because you're going to want your instant read thermometer. I have not started the water yet, because when the chicken is done at the right temperature, you need it to sit for 10 minutes. It's going to take 10 minutes to, technically only 8, but 10 minutes for the rice to be ready. So this should work out really good. Plus, while it's in there, we're going to do the bread. So it's really an efficient way to do this. So I'm going to get my glove here. And if you remember watching from the last show, I only had 1 glove on with all those ribs. Now the chicken's really not as heavy as 3 racks of ribs, but I'm going to play it safe because I learned my lesson. I had a big mess to clean up. So I now have 2 gloves on. Even though it says that there's 30 seconds left on here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out of the oven, because 30 seconds really isn't that big of a deal. And we can check the temperature real quick. Oh my, does this look absolutely fantastic? Check this out. Let's see what it says. Remember, you want to go for the thicker parts. This is a thick spot here. It's only saying 136 degrees, so it looks like we're going to have to go that extra 10 minutes. Let me check the other ones also, see if they concur. See, now this one says 160. I wonder why the middle one's not. Oh, that's a bone. Don't want to ever read off of a bone. This one's being a stubborn one. There we go. Yes, I can read upside down. Except I accidentally pushed a button and it went to Celsius. There we go. Yep, see, this one's not quite ready either. Although now that I look at it, this one does look a little bit smaller than the other ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 10 more minutes. So we don't actually have to start the other stuff yet. And then we'll come back. See, that's why you use a thermometer, to make sure you're cooking your food properly. All right, we're back. The timer's about ready to go off. About a minute ago, I jacked the temperature up to 425 because I'm going to need that for the bread. So let's get ready here. I turn the water on because you have to bring it to a boil before you add the rice. So let's see. Oops. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. All right. Let's see how it looks now. That is fantastic. Let's check the temperature before we throw the bread in there. I'm kind of curious why it didn't turn on. Oh, that's right. It's one of those newfangled ones where you have to close it and then reopen it before it works. There we go. All right, 160. It's showing 156.7, which isn't quite enough, which is surprising because by now it should be enough. Yeah, see, that's only 153. So you know what I'm going to do, because these two are definitely done. I'm going to pull these two out, put this third one in there along with the bread at the same time, because it should go fairly quick. That's the only problem with cooking big pieces like this. If one of them is slightly bigger than the others, it does screw things up. Now, I know I had a pokey fork out here. What the heck did I do with my pokey fork? Okay, I'm going crazy. You guys saw it earlier, right? Oh, there it is. It's in the small sink. I'll rinse it off since it was in the small sink. We'll pull these two out. We'll let them sit. Oh man, they smell so awesome. All right, we'll put this one back in along with the bread. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to set this for 8 minutes for the bread. We're not going to come back. We're just going to call this to show, because as you can see, if you're only doing two, this is what you would end up with. They are absolutely fantastic looking. They smell wonderful. And all this is the brown sugar bourbon half chickens that the pig in Delvin creates. Save you a lot of time. Just buy it, cook it. That easy. All right. I already told you about winning the dinner for two and guest appearance on the show. So remember, subscribe. Write in one of the comments, I want to win dinner. And at the end of September, we're going to do a drawing and you'll got a chance to win. So what else am I missing? Don't forget to share. Sharing is everything. We're getting a lot of people who are watching, but they're not sharing it. I understand people don't like spam, stuff like that, but in order for the show to be successful, we need more viewers, and the only way to get more viewers is if the ones who are watching it and enjoying it now pass it on. Very simple. Don't mean to sound like I'm begging, but basically I'm begging, all right? Once again, thanks for watching my show, and I'm Funguy The Entertainer, cooking for you.